The unimaginable happened to Buck Blodgett in July 2013. His 19-year-old daughter, Jessie, was assaulted and murdered by one of her friends. But then something unexpected happened. Buck and his family founded a program in Jessie's memory to fight interpersonal violence using the principles of forgiveness and love at the core of their work. The Love is Greater Than Hate project is more than Jessie's legacy. It works to end violence and to give a voice to the victim survivors. We are joined by Buck now. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me and Jess on your show, Denise. Appreciate it.
How did you begin to pick up the pieces and to really focus on creating the Love is Greater Than Hate project?
There was, I think the project kind of birthed itself. Several things happened, but the biggest was there was an indescribable outpouring from everyone. Like all of Jesse's friends, they came over from the Monday of the murder to the Saturday of the funeral. And all of my friends and Joy's friends and her family came from Canada and my family came from Maine and local. And people just, I'm not from an abusive family. I've always seen the good in people, but I never saw anything like this. And coupled with the intense grief and shock and pain was this even kind of a deeper kind of a peace and a love that I still can't describe 12 years later, even though I've been trying to every day. And I had to do something. It was Jessie's cause in life, this what she called male on female violence. I couldn't just sit. I needed to do something. All of that together launched this project.
The project really focuses its core values on forgiveness and on love. Why were these two elements so important?
Because there's nothing more healing than the incredible transformative power of forgiveness and love. I personally experienced it before I knew it was happening to me, before I distinguished anything about it. I didn't start out on a mission to forgive. I didn't try to forgive. I feel like forgiveness found me, and I was blessed, this atheist, with this just unexplainable, amazing thing that was happening in the middle of a darkness, the likes of which I had never been through and probably never will be again. And people kept saying, it must be incredibly healing for you to forgive. And I'm like, you're missing the point. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm forgiving because forgiveness is unbelievable. And as I look back and process all this, I'm still blown away by the peace and the joy. Like, that doesn't make sense. I lost the most precious thing I'll ever have, and it's not coming back. And I'll never have anything else like it, Jessie. But I have a peace and a joy like I never had before either. How do you explain the power of forgiveness? So we want to heal people. People commit violence usually when they've experienced an abuse or a trauma themselves. And that's got to get healed if we expect different outcomes.
One of your main goals is to really have zero tolerance for interpersonal violence. What does that look like? What does that mean when we say there is zero tolerance?
That's our vision, zero tolerance for interpersonal violence globally by the end of the century. I know, call me crazy, call me a dreamer. I am, but I'm also a realist, and there's no reason we can't accomplish that. And, it doesn't look like there's never any violence in the world, though. There may be outliers, but it's like taboo. It's like what it looks like is there everybody, everywhere, on every country on the planet. It's unacceptable. It's not tolerated. It's unacceptable. It's culturally not cool and not okay. And we're all aligned on preventing it and doing something about it so that it doesn't happen. That's what it looks like. It's rare. It's infrequent. It's a crazy outlier instead of it's everywhere. It's 1 out of 3 for sexual violence and 1 out of 4 for domestic violence against our girls and women right now. It's everywhere in every country on earth.
One of the things that you're really doing to combat that is work with both victims, survivors, and perpetrators. Why is it important to work with those individuals who've committed these acts of violence?
Well, if we have a mission to end interpersonal violence, and we do, and we're only a happy space to empower and encourage people who've experienced it, and we don't do anything to address those who are, our offenders and our perpetrators, then I believe I'm kidding myself, to think that we're ever going to do anything about this. We have to engage the people who are offending and perpetrating. And, we're in the prison system now, and what I've learned in the last 12 years is that over 90% of our incarcerated people were the victims of trauma and abuse before they became the perpetrators of it. And it never got healed. And they carry in their bodies and their hearts and their brains, they carry deep anger and hurt and pain. And our prison program is about new ways, giving them a map and a tools where they can release that, so that it can be replaced. The anger and the pain can be replaced by something else, maybe a peace, maybe a purpose, maybe forgiveness.
What have you seen it replaced with? Because you are part of this program going into prisons, talking to men. What have you seen it replaced with?
Exactly those things. I guess that's why they came to mind. I was just up at Kettle Moraine Correctional this morning and at 2 of our state prisons yesterday. And we're in week 6 of 10 right now. So the guys are getting kind of deep into this forgiveness process. And, it's hard. It's hard. They never knew another way. Us guys, we're trained from the time we're, knee high to don't be a baby, quit crying, suck it up, get it done, be a man, don't be a girl, and we are bad, many of us men, not to be a genderist right now, but it's just true. We're not great at expressing our feelings, let alone dealing with them honestly and openly and in a healthy way where they don't control us and drive our behaviors. So we're teaching people to do that.
And when you see that transformation begin to take place, does that give you hope that we will find a way to get to zero tolerance for interpersonal violence?
Yeah, I mean, there's 8 billion people on the planet, so it's a big job, but it gives me more than hope. It gives me a deep reward and satisfaction. We watched a guy last year at the adult rehab center in Milwaukee who did not want to be in the class. He was told he had to be in the class. I'll call him Caleb, fake name, real guy. He, out of the 76 guys we had start 4 classes last year, he was the only one who rated his anger as something other than the 1 to 10 scale. We asked guys, rate your anger 1 to 10. And everybody rated it somewhere in that scale. But Caleb gave himself 100. And if you looked around the room like I did when he said I'm 100 on the anger intensity scale, you could see in everybody else's faces that Caleb wasn't being a drama king. He was 100. He was like a time bomb waiting to go off. And he said, he didn't talk for the first 3 weeks. He wouldn't look at us. And the 4th week, he finally talked and he said, I don't believe in forgiveness and I'll never forgive. I just want to kill her for taking my kids from me. Well, in week 10, he self-rated at a 2 on the anger scale. And when we did a brief meditation after that, he self-rated as a 0 if he has a chance to pause and do a little meditation. And he said in week 10, maybe I do have forgiveness in me. And I don't want to kill her anymore. In fact, I kind of see her. I kind of understand her perspective and why she took my kids away from me. That kind of a transformation is extremely exciting for me. That's what I go into prisons for. But it's not just people in prison who need to release anger and resentments and hate. It's all of us. So hoping to spread this around.
Well, we appreciate the work that you're doing, Buck, and wish you the very best.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. Thanks for having Jessie on. It's personal for me. And when people like you, Denise, give her voice back for another few minutes, it means everything to me. But especially if she's with us someplace, and I believe she is, I believe it's important to her It's too late for her in this world, but not for everyone else who's still with us. And that's what we're doing this for.
Thank you. You can be part of the Love is Greater Than Hate's annual fundraiser, the Butterfly Legacy's Wings of Change, and helps to support this important work. It is at the Shower Arts Center in Hartford on September 25th from 5 to 8:30 p.m. You can get more information about the fundraiser and about Love is Greater Than Hate at theloveisgreaterthanhateproject.com. We're right back.